There's just a couple of players that when they're linked to West Ham, they don't ever tend to go away. It's not just the transfer merry-go-round, it's the manager merry-go-round. David Moyes left West Ham. De Zerbi left Brighton. Ted Lasso, Ten Hag, supposedly is due to leave Manchester United. There's a whole host of managers and coaches that are leaving their clubs right now. But the one that I'm going to talk to you today very briefly about is Pochettino, because Chelsea obviously jumped ship and they have got rid of Pochettino. Whilst they've got rid of Pochettino and whilst they're managerless, West Ham should probably look at trying to take advantage of this situation. Now, nobody can remotely take away from the fact that Pochettino ended up turning Chelsea's season upside down from the moment of the start to what happened in the end to get them to qualify in for a European position. But there does seem to be a lot of problems off the field. And reports are now suggesting that Chelsea are open to offers for some of those players. And they're even keen to look at offers for some of their younger players, which is genuinely baffling to me. It's baffling. But they do have a homegrown talent coming out of their ears, and they're looking to sell some of their locally produced players as they represent 100% profit when it comes to the strict rules in football these days. And I think one of the reasons why Pochettino was leaving Chelsea is he didn't agree with the club's transfer strategy. And West Ham might be able to take advantage of that because apparently they're very keen and open to listening to offers for this guy, Conor Gallagher. Now, Conor Gallagher's been the captain many a time for Chelsea. He went on to captain them a lot, considering that they lost their regular captain Reece James and vice captain Ben Chilwell throughout the season. But I make no mistake, and I've said for a long time that West Ham, last season, the season before, should have pushed the boat out to bring in someone like Conor Gallagher, because I genuinely think he could be one of the pieces of jigsaw missing in the middle of our park. He's tenacious on the ball and he's tenacious off the ball. He's got this never give up attitude, and I genuinely see why he is a perfect fit for West Ham. In 37 league games in a really difficult season for Chelsea, he scored 5 goals and got himself 7 assists. And you just have to go back a couple of years when he was playing for Crystal Palace, 8 goals, 3 assists in his best year. Done a really good job for West Brom when he was there. And you feel like he's been around for a lot of years, and he has, but he's only 24. He's already got 95 appearances for Chelsea, 39 appearances for Crystal Palace, and 32 appearances for West Brom, all in the majority of them in the Premier League. The tenacity, the tenacious approach to how he does, the bite, the determination, the fitness levels that he's got. He covers so much ground. His ability to play as a central attacking midfielder, as also a central defensive midfielder. He really would add that grit and determination in the middle of the park. Homegrown talent, tick box, tick box, tick box. And the fact that Chelsea are willing to listen to offers for him baffles me, but it's something that I think West Ham should try to take advantage of. I absolutely believe we should take advantage of bringing in Conor Gallagher to the club. People may say to me, where does he fit in? Well, if Lopetegui is going to be changing up the style of play, that makes me think that Thomas Souček is not going to feature as much as he's been over the last few seasons. I still think there's a place in the squad for Thomas Souček, but I don't think he has to start every game at all. So I think Edson Alvarez will be featured heavily in the middle of the park for West Ham. I think James Ward-Prowse will probably be there or thereabouts as well, but not as a regular. And I think you need other players. You're talking about players like Gallagher, and another player I would love for West Ham to go through would be Fofana. But if you're looking at homegrown talent and someone with Premier League experience, he ticks those boxes. And if you could tempt Chelsea with full profit of what, 40 million quid, and I don't think we're going to be the only club after him. I think Spurs are going to be strongly linked to him. Other clubs all around Britain, England in particular, are going to be linked to him, including clubs from abroad. Sometimes I think to myself, if he is available for West Ham, it's too good to be true. And I don't actually know if we could get him over the line. He is valued supposedly in and around £45 million. But what does he add? He adds goals, he adds tenaciousness, he adds the ability to just defend and attack. He has got a lot going for him. He really, really does. And he's the one that could excite me once we add other players in and around that for the season. Because I think we do definitely need Premier League experience. 24 years old, and the ability to score goals and create goals in the league and be pivotal as to the reason why they turned their season round. It's a kind of no-brainer for me. Then the next player I want to talk to you about is this player, Trevoh Chalobah, who West Ham have been linked to for a long time as well. Not featured as much for Chelsea this season. 13 appearances in the Premier League, 3 in the FA Cup, 1 in the League Cup. The season before was his best kind of return for games in the Premier League, with 25 appearances in total. He is 24 years old. He's a big lad, big centre-half, can cover all different positions for Chelsea. Has played 80 games for them in total at the age of 24, and has obviously had a few loan spells. It's not necessarily my favourite. It's not my first choice, because I've already spoken to you about Max Kilman. I've already spoken to you about Greaves from Hull City. I think they would be my two kind of main options. But if it meant that you had to do a double deal to advance the squad, then for me, you could go for a Chalobah and a Gallagher double. Put 60 million on the table for Chelsea and see what they turn around and say. And right now, because of their financial fair play issues they've got, I don't see them knocking back that amount of money. Genuinely don't. I really don't. I'm not. And I'm not saying Chalobah's our main option. I don't know if he is. But equally, I think we've got a new change of approach that we're going to have here. We're going to have Tim's at the wheel, deciding who we bring in. And I think he's going to be looking at individual talent and individual connectivity to the squad. Can these players fit the pieces of the jigsaw? So, if you think about a player who's the finished article and who is well known in the mainstream media, is that the sort of player that West Ham are going to get in? I don't think that is, actually. I think it's going to be the kind of under the radar type players. I don't think Gallagher is kind of under the radar, but I think Chalobah could be one of those players. So that's the second one. And the third one is this one, Armando Broja. I mean, he never really goes away, does he? And he himself is only 22. And we've already spoken about it. And do you know what? I feel slightly sorry for him, because he obviously picked up that injury at the start of last season, which really impacted his year. I think that would have been his year. If there was going to be a chance, that was going to be his chance. That was going to be his year. The season before, in the 21-22 season, he played for Southampton. That's where his real strengths were shown to the world. He got 6 goals in 32 appearances in the Premier League, 1 in the FA Cup in 4 appearances, and 2 in the League Cup in 2 appearances, finishing the season off with 9 goals for a struggling Southampton side. And we got to see the best of him, dropping deep, collecting the ball, working the flanks. He went on loan to Fulham last season, 8 games, 1 assist, no goals. It didn't really work out for him, but apparently he's been offered to West Ham. And maybe that's because the channel of conversation's been opened about him before they know West Ham are interested. So maybe they're coming to us and offering the deal. But I don't see us looking at Broja. I don't see Lopetegui thinking that could be an option. I could be wrong, because we don't really know the direction that necessarily Tim's going in, because currently, as things stand, we've been linked to a lot of players. We wait till Russ comes back and he'll update the list for you and he'll give them to you. We have been linked to so many players, especially now that Lopetegui is in and Tim's at the wheel and we're doing the business. You're looking at bringing in Bruno from Flamengo, Wesley from Corinthians, just to name a few, before we even start on even looking at the domestic leagues. So there's the trio. There's the trio of Chelsea players that could be coming in to West Ham, or West Ham could be paying a keen interest in. I don't doubt for 1 second we will be keeping an eye on the Gallagher situation, because I definitely think I would like to add him to our midfield. I think that would be a great acquisition. Homegrown talent and lot of Premier League experience. A lot. Genuinely has got a lot. 18 goals in the Premier League, 13 assists in total, with 136 appearances over 3 clubs in the Premier League. So Conor Gallagher is the one. If I had to choose one of those 3 that I would want to get, it would be him. So let me know your thoughts in the chat. Leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and of course, come on